Hi, my name's Cody.
Hi guys, my name is Luke, and today we are going to be taking you to some fun Frisbee games that you can try with friends and family. Frisbee, as you've played before, usually is played with big groups of people, but obviously as a little activity, as a little hobby, you can play with just 1, 2 people, 3 people, okay? All we're going to be doing today is going to be taking through a series of games that you guys can try, whether it's in your back garden, if you've got a nice big space, you guys can get down to a park, any area, big grass-based area where it's nice and soft in case you're falling over, things like that, when you're trying to catch the Frisbee. Me and Cody are using Frisbees that obviously are used for indoor because we are in our sports hall today. Okay, so you guys, if you really want to try and give some of these games a go, you can get down to Tesco's and Asda. They'll have these things on sale for £4 or £5 maybe, or you can get them online as well and get them delivered to your house.
Okay, guys. I hate the boys with this bit, but we're just going to go over a quick few COVID rules. Obviously, if you're playing this game at home or you're going to join in on our sessions, it's got to be within your own household, along with the guidelines. Me and Luke are in work. We are sharing different equipment, but it has been sanitized beforehand. We sanitize our hands beforehand, and we are in the same work bubble, okay? So you just got to be wary about these things, guys, when you are taking part in the sessions. We want you to be safe while you're doing it, okay? So that's enough of that. We'll go back to the fun stuff.
Okay, so as I say, we've got 3 main games that we're taking you today, but before we get into any of these games, you guys will try, we're going to run you through the basics of Frisbee, okay? Basically, all we're going to be looking at is how we throw the Frisbee correctly with the right technique and how we catch it. Okay, these are very important, especially the catching, because if you're not trying to catch the Frisbee properly, it might cause an injury. Okay, so keep an eye out for that in just a minute. But firstly, we're going to go through how to throw. Okay, so obviously, it goes without saying, any sport where it involves throwing or catching, especially the throwing bit, you're going to try and use your strong hand. So for me, I'm left-handed.
For me, I'm right-handed.
Okay, so this will be good for you guys to see as well. When we do a little example in a minute, we're going to be able to see a left-handed person throwing, and we're going to be able to see a right-handed person throwing. Okay, so all we're going to be doing is, as we say, Frisbee in a strong hand. All you're going to do is, before you throw it, you're throwing it from the hip, okay? So you're not throwing the Frisbee from up here, and just like, because that's a really small action you've got. So all you're going to do is, make sure your feet are in a nice wide stance, shoulder width apart, okay? You always bounce on your toes. Frisbee comes from the hip here, as we said. And after you're thrown, you're not just stopping there, you're going to follow through. Same as when we've done our badminton videos, okay? Anywhere you're hitting something, golf, for example, any of these sports where you're hitting, it's a hitting motion or a throwing motion, you've got to make sure you follow through, okay? So as soon as you throw a Frisbee, don't stop there, okay? As soon as you've thrown it, completely release your arms so it's fully extended, okay? We're going to quickly show you a throw, and all you're going to see Cody do is catch with 2 hands. Catching with 2 hands is very, very important, okay? Because although sometimes, yeah, people might like to show off and say, oh, I can catch it with 1 hand, it's a lot safer. Try and catch it with 2. And again, any of these games where we play where you've got to move your body to connect to something, to collect something, move your feet, okay? So when I throw the Frisbee to Cody, he's not just going to be reaching all over the place, okay? He's using his hands. He's going to move his feet and position his body so that he can catch it nice and easy, okay? So remember, try easy tips. Hold the Frisbee in a strong hand, throw from the hip, follow through. Remember, don't think about power too much, just make me think about accuracy. I'm going to be aiming for Cody's chest. Okay, where his hands are there, that's where I'm going to be aiming for the Frisbee to go. It might not always go there, but if I just mainly think about accuracy, it hopefully will. Okay, and the tip for catching, very easy, use 2 hands. Okay, and position your feet, move your body so it's easy for you to catch. Don't make it hard on yourself, try and make it easy. Okay, so quick example, remember, if you're right-handed, watch Cody's throwing technique. If you're left-handed, watch mine. Okay, so as we say, shoulder width apart, throw from the hip. I'm just going to aim for his chest. See, he hardly had to move. He didn't have to reach above his head. Didn't have to reach down by his toes. All he had to do was 2 hands out in front, making sure he's ready. Okay. Another key tip. So as soon as someone throws that Frisbee, hands are up, ready. Okay. Don't have your hands by your side. Okay. Wait for the Frisbee to get within a yard or 2 from you before trying to catch it. Make sure your hands are up, ready. Okay. Always ready to receive the Frisbee. Okay. So we're going to have a little now 30 seconds of just me and Cody passing the Frisbee back and forth between one another, okay? Just so you guys at home can get a good idea of what the technique is, okay? And for you guys to master it yourselves, okay? Off we go. Okay, nice and easy. Remember, as we said, we're not thinking about power. It's nice and simple. All we're thinking about is accuracy. Move your feet, and always have your 2 hands out in front, okay? If, for example, the Frisbee goes a bit wide of the target, so for example, if I throw it wide of Cody like this, for example, he drops, but you see where he moved his feet? Very simple. If he moves his feet, he's able to make an easy catch. He dropped that one, but obviously Frisbees are quite hard to catch. They're perfect. As well, remember, before you try in these games, make sure you have a little 2, 3, 5 minutes maybe, just whoever you're doing it with, just throwing and getting used to the Frisbee, okay? Bear in mind as well, if you're outside, if you do get down to a park or a football pitch where there's a lot of space, remember, wind can affect it as well. So that's when you might want to think a little bit more about power and less about accuracy. Okay, so we've covered the basics there. So remember, our tips, we're throwing from the hip, holding the Frisbee in your strong hand, making sure you follow through, aiming for the recipient's chest. So I was aiming for Cody's chest there, and he's always got his 2 hands up, ready to catch. That is another key tip. Okay, Cody's going to take us through our first game, and he's going to explain it for us right now.
Okay, guys, so touching on what Luke said about accuracy instead of power, you'll see Luke's bringing on a little Frisbee net that we've got here in FireFit. We do have this stuff, but for you guys at home, you can simply use a wheelie bin that you have at the back. You open the lid, we're going to aim to get the Frisbee in. So basically, in a minute, you can see the 2 orange cones. Me and Luke are going to go and line up by there. And we're going to have 3 attempts each. So we're going to have to try and pass the Frisbee from there and throw it into here. Okay, this isn't an easy task, guys. So if we don't get it in the 3, we're just going to move on to the next session. Okay, the next game for you. So for this one, like Luke said, remember the tips from the hip. Finish with your hand. I tend to try and look straight down my arm, and where my arm finishes is usually where the Frisbee goes. Okay, so if you stand side on from the hip and leave your hand where it is to follow through, it should go that direction. Okay, we're not going to go for any power in this drill at all because it's all accuracy. If we throw it too hard, it's going to bounce off, and it's going to come out of the net. Okay, so we wanted to just land just enough power just to fall into it. Okay, so me and Luke are going to have a little go at it now. We're going to have 3 attempts each, and whoever gets the most wins. Okay, if we get one, we're being very hopeful here. So Luke's going to do his first 3, okay? So he's going to go over to the cone, he's going to take his Frisbee, he's going to set himself up with his feet, trying to judge the distance, and then he's going to have an attempt.
Okay, so for this bit as well, what we're going to be making sure we do is, because obviously you've got a target to aim for, we're going to make sure that the side you're throwing from, that front foot is out. Okay, so I'm not going to stand it flat like this and throw from the hip like that. I'm going to make sure my left foot is out because I'm left-handed. Throw from my right hip. As Cody said, look down your arm. That's obviously that's your target. So if you if I leave my arm here, pointing straight at this target or this target, it should hopefully, hopefully is a key word there. It might hopefully go in. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so 3 attempts each. First attempt, number 1. Here we go. So front foot forward, feet mounted, shoulder width apart. Throw from the hip. Oh, not very good, not very good.
So when Luke throws his Frisbee, he's going to have to then come down, retrieve another Frisbee, and go back to the spot and try again, okay? So Luke was quite close on that time. As you can see, the Frisbees tend to glide in, okay? So that's why we say not to throw it too hard. So Luke's going to go back to the orange cones where he started, the starting mark. This is his 2nd attempt. You have 1 more attempt after this. So you can see set. Brilliant. So Luke's got 1 in, okay? Really good shot. He didn't put much power on it. It just glided in, and it's actually very central in the net. So that was a really good shot from Luke, okay? We're going to see if he can get his 3rd one in. Make that 2 out of 3. Just don't know if you can see on the camera, guys. He was just below the red part for that one. So altogether, Luke's shots were quite accurate, okay? I'm going to now go and have my 3 attempts. Hopefully I can get 1 in also. So yeah, as Luke said before, Luke was standing with his left foot forward, mine is right foot forward because I'm right-handed, okay?
Oh, very unlucky. So it's just bent out at the very last second. Okay, as Cody said before as well, so we are lucky enough at FireFit to have equipment like this. Okay, so this is usually a disc golf. So it's basically like golf, however, you choose a little disc and you've got to try and get the little disc in this little target in as few shots as possible, sorry. But as Cody said, you guys, if you've got a bin at home, a big recycling bin, a bin you have at front of the house, if you just wheel it around the back, anything you can use as a target to try and hit. Maybe say, for example, the same as us, you get 3 shots, try and hit as many times as you can. Let's see how Cody does the 2nd attempt. So as you can see, right foot forward, throws from the hip, comes nice, straight, ooh, and just hits the legs of the stand, okay? Very, very unlucky. He's got 1 more shot. Okay, this isn't like our staffy stuff competitions. This is just literally just seeing if we can get it in. This is quite a hard task. 3rd attempt. Oh, perfect. There we go. So Cody got 1 on his last go, and I got mine on my 2nd go. So that is the first little game we have today. Boxed off. As we said, you guys can use a little bin at home, any sort of thing in your gardens or at a local football pitch, you can maybe use the goalpost at a local football pitch, try and hit one of the posts from, 10, 15 meters away, make sure it's nice and fair. And as I say, always remember the tips that we were using. We're going to take you on to our second game now. Cody's just going to move us over. Yeah. Next zone. Right, okay, so next little game we've got, as you can see, those of you who've been fighting before or have played badminton before, this is a badminton net, this is a badminton court, okay? A lot of it's different techniques and things you need to have to play Frisbee. Things like spatial awareness and hand-eye coordination, again, two things that we talk about quite a lot when playing games in our sports hall here. Okay, so hand-eye coordination, as we said, you've got to make sure you can always watch the Frisbee, keep your eyes on it, moving your feet, moving your body, and making sure you're aware where the Frisbee is going to go, judging the flight of the Frisbee, where you could need to position yourself, okay? As Cody said, they do tend to, curve around quite a lot. It doesn't just go nice and straight all the time. Another thing, spatial awareness. So me and Cody are going to be on a side each, and we're going to play a simple game of Frisbee tennis, okay? So the aim of this is, for example, I might stand on this side, Cody on the other side, and I'm going to throw this Frisbee over the net. Cody's job is to catch. Okay, Cody's job is to catch this Frisbee and stop it from hitting the floor. If I throw this Frisbee over towards Cody and it hits the floor, I myself am going to get a point. Okay, it's going to be first person out of me and Cody to reach 5 points. Okay, so keeping in mind our little tips and tricks to throw in. So throw from the hip, shoulder width apart. And for games like this, it's going to be about being clever as well. So I'm not going to throw the Frisbee to exactly where Cody's standing. I'm going to have to make him move about. It is about trying to score points. It is a little competition at the end of the day. Okay, so again, if you're trying this, you might not have a net, any little, garden wall things, anything like that. If you just want to put a line of something down, a washing line on the floor, remember that's your side and that's your opponent's side, things like that. So remember, keep it nice and simple, but still try and have fun and still try and achieve what we're achieving here. Okay, so we're going to get started here. Using this red Frisbee. As you said, it's all about me bouncing the Frisbee over to the other side, but trying to get it to land. So I'm going to try and throw it away from Cody. I might just try and drop it over the net, little drop shot like you'd call it in badminton. Cody's then going to try and play it back to me. If I drop it or it hits the floor before me catching it, Cody will get a point. First person to get 3 points out of the 5. So we're going to play 5 points. First person, the best out of 5. Basically, we're going to play it. Okay, so we start off nice and easy. Okay, we're still throwing from the hip. Still positioning our bodies to make sure that we can catch it nice and easy. Also, if I throw the Frisbee and it lands off the court, outside the white lines, again, Cody's going to get a point. Exactly the same as if you're playing badminton, or of course, if you're playing tennis, okay, exactly the same. There we go, trying to make him move, trying to make him aware of where his surroundings are. Oh, there you go. Perfect. So inside the white line, if you guys can see the camera, inside the white line, I thought he was going to go left. I went to go left, and he threw it to the right hand side, just over the net. So that's 1 point to Cody. Again, as you said, we're playing best out of 5 points. We're going to play 5 points. See who's got the most points at the end. We're going to let Cody serve this time. Cody's going to start us off. Oh, little drop shots, okay, it did hit the net. But in badminton, if you play a shot and the shuttlecock hits the net and goes over, it does count. So that's 1-1. We've got 3 points left. Let's see if we can come out as the winner. Sure. Yeah, well, that's it. We'll keep changing the serve. Okay, so we're going to look where the opponent is. I'm just going to try and throw it. Oh, try to go straight into them. Okay, I'm going to try and not play anyone in shots, okay? Just over the net, click the top, and just spun over there, I can see it properly on the camera.
For you guys, is the aim for the space, okay? So, I know Luke's trying to aim really close to the net to make it more difficult. For you guys, just aim on getting over the net and trying to aim for a bit of space, okay? So, after that, you can work to get close to the net, which makes it harder for your opponent. So, my serving.
Yeah,
so, it's 2-1 to Luke.
We need Cody to win this one to play off 5th. Oh, and that, okay. So as you can see there, That is a very good example of the kind of ways you can throw a frisbee. It's not always straightforward, you know, straight over the net, nice and straight, keep it nice and flat. As you can see now, I'm going to throw this frisbee to Cody. If you watch the way this frisbee goes up and comes down, okay, I throw it out. It's still the land in the court, okay, that's the way you can throw a frisbee. So again, if you're playing in a big field where, you know, there's lots of wind and there's a lot of difficulties into throwing, you've got to really take into account that wind. So for example, the wind is blowing this way, over there, I'm going to make sure I throw the frisbee left, so it actually does come round with the wind and doesn't get taken by the wind. Okay, that's 2-2. Next point wins. We'll play the next point, so if you hit the net, it's a foul. Okay, so we'll just see, it's all about now, literally just outplaying your opponent, trying to throw it in the street. Okay, you ready? Nice, start off. Oh, I might have gone out, but we'll play on. Oh, there you go. Okay, so Cody made a very good drop shot and it didn't hit the net. So Cody is the winner of that little second game we're playing. So, you know, as we said, it's all about spatial awareness, hand-eye coordination, because when you're playing an actual game of Frisbee, you know, ultimate Frisbee is played with maybe 5v5, 6v6, so there's a lot of people that are playing. So it's all about making sure you're aware of what's going on and you're aware of where you need to throw that Frisbee to be able to score more points for your team. Okay, that's our second game done. Cody's now going to take us on to the third, but before we do it, we're just going to move the camera.
Just before I walk these over, guys, I'm just going to show you the setup we have here, okay? So as you can see on the floor, I hope you can see, we've got 10-pin bowling set up here, like we normally would, okay? So, like I said, we've got the equipment in FireFit. For you guys at home, you don't have to use this, we don't expect you to. You can use stuff like from your recycling bin, like plastic bottles, cartons, old cans of milk, anything like that, something that's not going to break when you hit it, and it's not going to be expensive. So you're probably going to have this stuff lying around your house already. We don't want you to go and buy stuff if you already have it, because it's pointless. So we're going to walk you over to the little station and explain the game to you, okay?
Right, so yeah, Cody's going to walk us through this game. This is more of a competitive one to finish off, okay? So back then we were focusing on, you know, accuracy, spatial awareness, really important things. This one is literally about having fun, okay? Which is what we want you guys to do at home.
Yeah, guys, like I said, all we need is the 10-pin bowls, which you can use plastic bottles, cartons, anything like that. The idea is me and Luke are going to stand roughly about 10-15 meters away from the target. Okay, guys, if that's too hard, you just move a little bit closer. If it's too easy, you can just move a little bit further. Okay, so it's a very adaptable game. Also, me and Luke are going to have 2 attempts each. So when you play bowling, I know you can play lots and lots of shots, but just for the purpose of the video, we're going to show you 1 round each. Okay, so Luke's going to take his first 2 shots, and he's going to see how many pins he can knock over out of the 10. So hopefully he'll be able to knock them all over. If not, and he only gets 7, then I'll take my attempt after they've been reset up, and I'm going to try and beat his score. Like Luke said, the last 2, we were just trying to go through and show you. This one's going to be a bit more competitive, okay? So we're going to see who's going to win tonight out of me and Luke for this last little game.
So it is very important as well. I don't know whether you guys can see on the camera, okay? These pins are very spread out, okay? Because if we were to literally put them all within touching distance, one little hit with the Frisbee would potentially knock them all down and make it very, very easy. Okay, so they are nice and spread out. So, you know, I'm going to hopefully hit 1 or 2 with the same Frisbee, and then they might knock the ones over, okay? As soon as I've knocked them over, I'm going to leave them there. I'm not going to move them out the way. I'm just going to speed this up for you guys. I'm just going to literally throw it twice. I'm going to get my Frisbee each time, and then after my 2 goes, we'll see how many are still standing, and we're going to see if Cody can beat my score, as he said. Okay, so we're going to throw from this black line here, so it's nice and fair. Again, we're not taking away any of the things we've learned, so we're throwing from the hip. As you can see, I've already got my left foot forward. I'm making sure we follow through with our arm. This is they got our aimer. Okay, so as soon as wherever I end with this arm, that's where the Frisbee should hopefully go. Okay. This one maybe needs to think a little bit more about power and trying to knock down as many as possible. But obviously, the more power you put into your shot, the less accurate it's going to be. Okay, so maybe think more about accuracy in the first one. And if that doesn't go too well, then just go for power. Okay, ready? So we've got 2 shots. First one.
Okay. It was actually a really accurate shot from Luke, but like you said, because they were spaced out, it made it harder to knock down multiple pins at once. So this time, I'm not sure if Luke's going to go tactical and try and hit the front pin to knock down the rest.
Just go help a minute. There we go.
But we'll see how he gets on.
Good luck to you guys as well for if you're playing against, mum and dad, brother, sister, friends. When lockdown's all over, you want to play these games. Try different techniques. So one round maybe just try accuracy. Next round just try and throw it as hard as you can. Ensuring no one is stood by the pins so they can get hit and things like that. Okay, second attempt.
Okay, so that time he got 3. So out of the 10, Luke got 50%, so he got 5 of them, okay? So I'm not going to have a go in a little second once he set up the rest of them. Luke, I think, was going for 50-50 power and accuracy, and it worked out quite well for him, so I might have to steal his tactics. Like you said, though, it's good to try different ways of doing this, guys, when you're at home. Obviously, what might work for me or Luke might work differently for you, so who knows, you might be very accurate and be able to hit a strong shot. So I'm going to have a little go now. I'm going to have my 2 attempts. I'm going to try and beat Luke's score of 5. Okay, so I'm going to step up to the mark. We're going to put my right foot forward because I'm right-handed. Measure it quite a little bit. Okay, so again, guys, I got 2, like Luke did the first time. So I'm going to go collect my Frisbee. Let's start again. See if I can get 3.
So as you can see there with Cody's shots, as he said, just before he threw Cats Crocs down, so I'm standing here and I'm nice and high. As you can see, your pins are all, very, very short, maybe just up to just below my knee. So it's all about leveling yourself to wherever your target is. Cody steps, so he basically needs to hit 3 to tie up. He's going for a kneeling down approach. He needs 3 to tie it. Yes, there we go. Okay, so that is basically all we have for you guys today. So, we've had a lot of easy games. We've had games where it's focused on techniques, okay? Focusing on the core, how we play Frisbee. And then, as you can see, that little one at the end is just about playing, having fun, okay? Everyone loves bowling. See how many pins you can knock down by throwing the Frisbee nice and hard at the pins and see who can win out of you or your opponents.
Yeah, guys, so that's it from us. Stay safe, and we hope to hear from you soon. And hopefully, if you have any little videos of you playing with your family, we'd love to see them if you want to send them into any of our social media accounts, okay? So, see you later, guys.